Move on to the markets here in Nigeria. 0.5% down on the Nigerian Stock Exchange Composite Index on Tuesday. That's the second trading day of the week. The market softened a little bit just as we started the week on Monday, around 0.37% in negative territory. So we lost about less than 200 basis points on Tuesday, still below the 30,000 at 29,000 new level. It's now sinking by about 400 basis points. The total market value, equities value, the T's are now at the doorstep of 13 trillion naira. If anything negative, if we continue on this negative trend, we're likely seeing 12 trillion before the end of the week. Today is the third trading day. Checking through the market for you, for us, the total turnover yesterday went down by almost 100%. We started Monday a little above 500,000 shares, 500,000, so I beg your pardon, 500 million shares traded. Yesterday, it was 246.75 million ordinary shares. That cut that down. Then in terms of value, we came down to 4.01 billion. The Monday, unusual heavy activity, about 10 billion naira in naira value of total transactions, came down to 4. Then in terms of the transactions as well, or deals, were also down below the 4,072 on Monday to about 3,726. You'll see there on your TV screen. So the market, in terms of activities, was also much lower than we started on Monday. But look at the 5 sectors. It was also a bit weaker. Things moved a little bit. But again, bouncing this around the 5 key subsectors of our market that we track for you on a daily basis. Banking sector declined on a Monday more than 1%, nearly 1.5%. Tapered a little bit to about less than 1%, still in the negative territory, 0.93% reading at the end of the market. Consumer goods was flat, lightly 0.04%, and industrial goods almost 1%. That's what moderated the negative closing yesterday. Insurance were much in deeper red than their bigger cousins, the banks, by 2.06%. Oil and gas took a major dive, and you can see that at the bottom of the page, 2.31%. So where were the numbers, the big pullers for the oil and gas? That's give it to Forty Oil and Seplat. So let's roll that over, shall we? And then you see the oil and gas space. Thank you very much. That's our energy market listed on our market. The corn oil was unchanged, 21.65. Forty Oil did a major dive down, 9.35. 2.628 million shares. Investors took profit on Forty Oil, still digesting the divestment of the billionaire businessman and majority shareholder Femi Otedola, and of course the new CEO and Chief Financial Officer. As some analyst says, Forty Oil has to brief the market on the way forward. Then Oando wasn't changed, but that's a very significant volume, keeping that on track there for these energy traders still in a face-off with the regulator, Securities Market Regulator, 4 naira, 2.712 million shares. Roll that over and you see Seplat, the only EMP, getting ready for its Africa Capital Markets Forum at the London Stock Exchange on the 28th, down the end of this week. That's Seplat there, bringing folks together in London. Of course, London Stock Exchange is where Seplat had is listed, as well as Lagos. 495, down from about 500 naira reading. Then you got Eternal Oil. That's small energy retailer. 3 naira 65 at the closing bell, up 1.39%, less than 400,000 units of shares. And of course, Japol pulled a very strong volume, the highest in that space for the day, 5.532 million shares, and finishing unchanged at 23 kobo per share. Checking the unlisted securities market via the NESE over-the-counter market, and that's where we'll go next. Also down 0.34%, tracking the bigger Nigerian Stock Exchange Offshore Index. That's a USI there, reading 723.83, 520 billion naira in terms of market cap. And in terms of volume, well, not significantly different from Monday, just about 207,000 unlisted securities traded in 14 transactions. So you got a big story. And that's from the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange. Look at the treasuries market. This is one of the most active and big trading day we had. See the bottom of the page. That's the figure there, billion naira of treasuries, government treasuries, traded in a massive 455 transactions. And you can see the discount high for the four most actively traded papers on Tuesday. 11.6%, 11%, 11.5, and 11.5. All of that for treasuries maturing between October, September, and October this year. That tells you something. Keep your eye on what is coming ahead, and this gives you an idea of where the market is going if you know where the market really is. So this is a very big story for those in the securities market. If you're there, you know this is a new direction for treasury yields as we begin to see the government trying to reduce what the authorities are paying to borrow from the investing public. But let's talk about the Naira bond a little bit. We're expecting the market to get ready for another round of offerings. But this is your Naira bonds, 97.50, a price high for bonds maturing. That's a midterm paper, February 2028. You have two long tenor instruments there. That's your 18th of March 2036 and 18th of April 2037 at those price highs. But you look at the bottom page, that's 63.9 billion, nearly 64 billion, much stronger than we started the week on Monday. The number of deals also much stronger, 63 transactions. And you can see why investors are buying into that midterm paper maturing 23rd of February 2028, 22.30 billion naira in 26 transactions. Quite a very busy day for everyone on the market. Well, today is a very interesting day for the market. Again, the third trading day. What's the big story for today? FMDQ, OTC, FMDQ Securities Exchange is planning to put market professionals together in the debt market with S&P, that's the Standard & Poor, S&P Dow Jones indices, to take a look at the partnership, or what you call the contractual cooperating agreement, which was signed last year to float what you call the FMDQ S&P Dow Jones Government Sovereign Bond Index. That was for Nigeria. That was developed last year to track the performance of local currency denominated sovereign debt publicly issued by the Nigerian government. That is scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, the 27th. But we've got the officials of the FMDQ and the S&P to talk to within the hour. We're trying to get our connections to them to bring us up to speed. What has been achieved within the last 1 year since we floated the Nigeria Sovereign Bond Index, and how does this work for the investment management industry in Nigeria, and what's the outlook on all of this? We'll put that together for you within the hour. But of course, we're going back to London for another insightful interview on part of the Bloomberg Emerging and Frontier Markets held on Tuesday. We'll be right back into